morning. Well, I've still got my morning voice on. It hasn't woke up yet. Not very often I'm out here at the model table before the sunrise. Well, at least this time of year. In the winter, the winter time, like in December, yeah. It's pretty much guaranteed then. However, yeah, it looks like we're going to be able to see it this morning. And about, I'm guessing 10 minutes ago when I was getting going here, I opened up my drapes, and then when I turned on the overhead lights here on the model table, I lit up like a Christmas tree. It looked like it was light outside, or at least a little bit, but all of a sudden everything looked black, and I suddenly realized that I'm going to be sitting here like like I say, lit up like a Christmas tree. And anybody walking by early in the morning, walking their dogs or whatever, they'd be looking in wondering, what on earth's going on in that house? Has he got a grow up or something going on in there? Anyway, yeah. So, I did come back to the model table last night. And putskied away, and I'm still happy with my decision to do more painting with the brush instead of with the airbrush. Now, I should maybe I read most of my comments that I got up till right now, and people are saying do your own thing type of thing. But I want you to understand that it doesn't mean that I'm never going to airbrush again. I just don't know how it goes. I'm just playing it by ear. Many years ago, there was two guys that had sayings. One guy's always saying, we'll play it by ear. And the other guy used to say a lot, that sounds like a winner. So my brother and I, we would sort of kid each other, and one of us would say, well, we'll play it by ear. And either me or him would say, that sounds like a winner. So we're going to play it by ear here, and I think it sounds like a winner. Anyway, about this morning, if you want to see what it looks like outside, I'm going to have to dub it in. One of the viewers made a comment, said that now that the spray booth is gone, he's going to be able to see out the windows better. Well, that's sort of true if you look in that direction. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't look too bad out there. Maybe I'll dub it in later. It's a bit of a hassle, though, to have to do that. It'd be really nice if I could just easily have the camera, the one camera that's looking down the street that way, and the other camera's looking down the street that way. If I could, have them easily be in the scene, but it takes a little bit of finagling. And right now, I've got a lot of modeling to do. I don't want to be finagling too much. Anyway. Today is pizza day, so we'll try not to forget that. I probably won't. I did once, though, remember? I actually genuinely forgot. Okay, let's roll back and see how it is that we got to where we are. I did come back to the model table this afternoon, and I gave these parts, well, at least the larger parts, I gave a second coat. But not everywhere I gave a second coat. If it didn't look like it was blotchy anywhere, I didn't do it. And the second coat is, I'd say, 90% dry. I also painted this piece here. I'll put it on the rotator in a minute, and we'll have a closer look at it. But when I first started this piece, I thought, have I made a mistake here in deciding not to use the airbrush? But we got through it. It went better than I thought it was going to, at least better than I thought it was going to at first. Okay, just let me recompose here. Yeah, when I started my painting on this piece here, I started with this antenna part, and I was having difficulty getting the brush in to completely get all of the photo etch. But I do believe I've got it. I'm not seeing any glinting here, and right at the moment I've got a fairly strong light on it. I'm not going to give it a second coat. I think that, and I'm talking about the antenna. Oh, you know what? I think I just saw a little bit of glinting right there. I might try and get that. But you got to have a real strong light on it to see it. I don't know if you were able to see it or not. I can pretty much guarantee you're not going to see it when it's on the ship and in the case. As far as the sides go, I did do touch up some of the blotchy areas. You might say the sides have had a second coat. But as far as the antenna parts go, I think they're done. Maybe I'll just leave that. I may not mess around with it. I might end up breaking it off, trying to make it better. Okay, let's move. Well, there is one other thing I could possibly do, and that would be these two things on the front here. If I was to maybe have them a different color so that they sort of stood out a little bit better. I think it was Jason, UK Jason, was mentioning that he thinks that this is supposed to be a flag locker, and to come out to the flag locker, you're going to end up falling through here. So that doesn't make too much sense, but that's the way they did it. Unless maybe that's not a flag locker, maybe it's something else. But as I mentioned about 3-4 episodes ago, I couldn't find this piece in a picture or in Carlo's drawing, so we just have to assume that it's probably pretty close. Okay, we have paged all the way back to step 23, and because it was in 23, if you remember, that they wanted us to put these signal lights in, and I was saying we can't do it until we get everything painted. Well, now I think everything is painted. I know I used a brush here, so it could be that they're not going to fit into those holes as well as if I had have used the airbrush. That's another advantage of the airbrush over the paintbrush, is that you don't accidentally fill in holes. But I think we can. I think if I use some extra thin here to dissolve the plastic, it's gonna meld its way together, if you know what I mean. Now just let me recompose a bit here. Now I can well imagine that this Tamiya thin here is going to probably wick into that flat paint. Oh, speaking of the rubber-tipped tweezers, we got to finish on that other set that we had started there. I could have maybe put just a little bit more extra thin in that hole, but it is slowly going down. I'll slip the macro lens on for the other hole. Okay, I think that's pretty much right. Oh, sure. Had to overdo it. Okay, it's gonna have to do. Okay, now before we put the glue around the edge there, where this has to go, let's just do a dry run. I know it fit before, but that was before I painted everything. Okay. Now, is it doing anything bad to our signal lights? I don't think so. They're just barely fitting there. I haven't used this for a while, so it might be plugged up. We'll soon know. Okay, let's just leave that. I don't think I need to try and put glue anywhere else. Let's just, it'll just make a mess. Okay, and now our binocular units here. And they are supposed to go that way. I'll just do a couple of them on camera. And once again, I'll put the macro lens on for the other one. Maybe it should be twisted just a little bit here so that it's kind of looking out over the... Oh! Now I think it's in the hole. What is wrong with you, Ron? Maybe it's not in the hole. Maybe I have to put on my stronger glasses. I'm going to recompose here. Okay, this time I got my magnification hood on. I can sort of see what I'm doing just a little bit better. That looks pretty good. Now, a few episodes back, we were talking about these little pieces of photo etch. There's 6 of them altogether, and they have to go in various locations here in the window to sort of act as part of the window frame or bracing or whatever. And at the time, I thought, yeah, I could give them a try, but you know what? At this point, I don't think I want the frustration. Now maybe it's because it's, what do we got,
8:17. Maybe it's because it's late at night I don't want the frustration. Maybe I should wait in the morning and see how I feel then. We do seem to have an extra binocular unit here. Now, I know that these signal lamps we do put on in a step when we flip the page. Well, maybe we'll need this somewhere. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it quits here for this evening, folks. And yeah, all being well, we'll see you in the morning. Well, it is morning. And I'm going to slip on the macro lens and show you something here that I noticed just when I was closing off last night. I didn't talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it now. And but while I am slipping on the macro lens, I'd better show the sunrise. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. So I'm going to dub that in right now. It's short, maybe only about 15 seconds or so. Okay, it was nothing special, but at least we got to see it, right? Anyway, you will notice that there's a little, you might say a little divot or something, indentation right here. And it's harder to see, but there's another one like it right here. Now, let's see if I can pick this piece of photo etch up without dropping it. It's supposed to go, this is supposed to go like that. Now, there's another little divot which is kind of hard to see on the bottom. In fact, you can't see it at all because it's being blocked by this thing right here. But a person should be able to lay that in there. Now, if it falls in, I could probably shake it out. I'm just wondering if I should go ahead and try and put a tiny little bit of CA where it's supposed to go and then drop it into place here. Maybe I'm going to have to use different tweezers that come in more straight. These ones are curved, and the curve is catching where I need to come down. I'm going to reposition here. Okay, you should be able to see the lower one now, but not the upper one. Now, if I drop this into the slots, they don't line up perfectly, and this part is going to be at a bit of an angle. Well, it wants to fall through. There. I got it. You know what? I don't think it's going to add that much to the detail, and it's going to be oh sure, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, I guess it's good to start shaking this thing and get it out of there. Okay, just for perspective, you know, I just I'm undecided here as to what I should do about it, but I don't think I'm going to mess with it. First of all, I'm going to be getting glue on the, you might say, windowsills, and they're not going to be 100% straight. So bottom line is I'm not going to put it on. Okay, now we're at the place where we have to go back and do all the things we did not do in step 24. At least these gussets are on, so we don't need to worry about that. But we couldn't put the ladders in place until we had this in place. And we couldn't put this in place till we had the optical units in place, and we couldn't put them in place until we had the painting done. So yeah, I think we can go ahead now and glue this down here. I'll just recompose here. Okay, I tried to put this together a moment ago, and it was binding pretty bad. I couldn't get this thing down as far as it was supposed to go. I know I had it before, but then we've got paint built up in different places now that we didn't have it before. I do recall it was a tight fit, but I'm noticing that there's what appears to be maybe a little bit of flashing here. And I think if I just take this down, I don't think we're going to see the fact that I've filed the paint away there, because it's going to be on the inside. Okay, let's give it a try now. I gotta be careful where I grab hold of this, or I'll be breaking off my photo etch gussets. You see that this is supposed to go down to the top of the window frame there. It's just a bit of a tight fit. I could probably force it down, but I don't want to do any forcing. If I can, by filing it, I can get it. I'm just gonna have to finish this off camera. Okay, I've got it, and I used the Revell contacta on the inside there where you can't really see too good. And yeah, once again, I'm not going to put any glue along the edge here. I don't think I need to. Okay, off of the D sheets, we need a couple of 17s, which is right here, and a couple of number 1s, which is right here. And there's 2 D sheets. Okay, I did something which I usually don't do. I went ahead and just cut these pieces off without making a big deal about it. I will show the bending though. Gonna have to reposition here. Maybe I'll put the macro lens on. Okay, we're gonna want to bend it now where the stringer meets the treads. This should bend fairly good. Now, I'm not going to be able to bend it over all the way, but at least I'll be able to get the bend started. Every time I use this bender, I envision some guy in his home workshop about 1,500 miles from here making this thing. And he was probably envisioning me using it and appreciating it. And I sure do. I know I've said this a lot, but thank you, Andy. Okay. Now we can bend that a little straighter later. We gotta adjust the treads now. Okay, now these tweezers are just about the right width, but I still have to be careful with them. And you've probably noticed that some ships' ladders are steeper than others. And they have one thing in common, and that is that this stanchion, or whatever you want to call it here, is almost always straight up and down when the ladder is in place. So what you want to do then is bend your tread so that it will be 90 degrees to this stanchion, which in this case, just eyeballing it, looks like 45 degrees. So just take and bend it in here. Okay, now we stick it in, being very careful not to grab two treads at the same time, because you will very quickly. Maybe I'll come in from the back. Trying to keep it over this little dot here. Yeah, this is going to work better. I'm not having as good a luck with this as I usually do. Usually I can just motor right along. There, okay. As long as we get them, they don't have to be perfect 45 degrees. As long as they give the illusion of being so that a person could walk up and up the ladder. I think this is the last one. Maybe go a little bit more. Okay, yeah, that kind of gives the illusion of, stair treads. Yeah, I think that's going to be all right. Okay, now we're going to have to paint that. Probably the dark gray.
Now this is the room that I want to renovate into the model room. The second model room, that is. For a minute there I thought this wasn't going to work. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, defrost, 1.1 pounds.
Okay, how many times are we going to rotate our pizza this time? Maybe just once. Now, I took it out of the microwave just a few minutes ago. However, it was probably an hour ago that you saw me put it in and push the buttons. In the meantime, I was doing a bunch of editing to see how much video we had. And as you can tell, we had a lot of video. So we're going to call it quits for today's episode. And all being well, I'll be back at this again later this afternoon and this evening, and we'll maybe paint our ladders and try and bend this railing here. So thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.